you have a friend who helped get you that, you might just consider that. Thank you, Kristen.
Okay, got it. Awkward. Okay, great. All right, here we go. Thank you all very much for your patience and getting things together here and everything. And welcome back to CCF. We're okay. It must be my fault. Oh, there we are. Okay, great. All right. Good. Well, welcome back to those of you that are back here at CCF, and a special welcome to those of you that are here for the first time. My name is Joe Fitzgerald. I'm the college pastor here at Living Faith Fellowship, and together with my amazing wife, Suzanne, we get to hit up what we're doing Campus 3. Honey, would you stand up real quick? There you go. Yay, there's Suzanne. My better two-thirds, and while we're on the staff thing here, we want to let you know who our staff are on our two campuses. At WSU, we have Carl Borg. Would you stand up? If you have questions, just feel free to check with them. Carl. Ellis Troll is leading worship. You saw him. There he is. All right. Great. Sarah Burnett. I think she's here. There she is. All right, Sarah. And Anna Moak. You've seen her around too. Where's she at? There she is back there. All right. And you on the U of I campus, Dan Fitzgerald was heading up the game. There he is. And then some time on both campuses, but a little more U of I, Mia Vidot. Would you stand up? There she is. All right. I saw her too. Great. They're amazing people, and if they can't answer your question, it's not worth asking. And so you can just check in with them. We want to let you know kind of a little bit about us as we go and everything. This is another quick family shot for you. This is our family. We've got some family pics. And so here we are down at this Sunnyside Park. And so we've got, obviously, I'm the tallest and heaviest one. Then there's Suzanne. And then Liam, Anna, Judah, and Lizzie. And they're great. And my brother-in-law, he's incredible. He's incredible with graphic design and animation and everything. That's what he does professionally. Here's what he did to this picture. Seriously, he just threw that on Facebook. I'm like, thanks, Dave. That's great. Great. Appreciate that. It's always sad when someone messes with your picture and it gets more likes than when you just take a picture, you know. So. You guys have gotten your student ID pictures taken, I'm sure, and I got mine taken at U of I back in the day. This was a long time ago, and it was pretty cool. I was late getting my picture taken, and so there was no line, which was awesome. And so they took my picture for student ID. She goes, "This is great. There's no one in line, and so we'll just take pictures till you're happy." I said, "That's okay. That's awesome, you know, and great." So she takes a picture, and she goes, "Okay, what do you think?" And she showed me, you know, and I said, "Looks fine to me." And she goes, "Really?" I'm totally serious. That's what happened. She goes, "Really?" And I said, "It's me. I don't know what we're going to do with that. In the next one, to make it look better, unless somebody walks by and we just, you know, hey, would you be my picture?" You know, I don't know. It was really, I'm not real fond of pictures. Ever since then, I've run from Suzanne. Make sure we get family pictures, and I just hate them. And I love that we have pictures, but I still have these scars over getting my student ID picture. How many of you guys got your ID picture? You got all that taken care of and everything? How many people can remember your student ID number? You got it? Nice. Awesome. All right. A lot of numbers. You're learning all this stuff, getting all this down and everything. In the background here, we want to show you this little videos and be playing. These two guys set up their dorm room, and this might be what you just kind of experienced. And there's not many soundtrack. This is kind of like this Tops thing. But you can check out these guys as they get things set up here. I think this is back in Vermont someplace. And we're going to be okay, Jason? No? We're trying. All right. There we go. Okay, moving it. Great. Now, this might look a little bit familiar to you. Look at that. just kind of this cubicle, right? That's kind of what all you guys had in your enviro bubble. You're like, what is that? You know, it's really interesting to see what's important to people, and this really is just a cubicle. I mean, I've definitely seen some nicer rooms at WSU and U of I. This is pretty basic. And the challenge is trying to figure out how to make your room your own, and all this going and everything. And I was at U of I helping with move-in yesterday, and which is pretty cool. I got to see, like, the great reveal as we were kind of, yeah. With that guy. He's got an awkward stash. You get a close-up of it later. I'm like, too much. But anyway. I was especially at the tower, and some students as they're moving in and everything, and they hadn't seen the rooms yet, and so we've got all this stuff, and we're carrying it up to the room, and they walk in the room, and it's the first time they've seen it, and their parents are with them, and you open it up, and you're kind of, I don't know what everybody was expecting, but I think it had something to do with the picture they saw online, where they have somebody who's a professional interior decorator with no budget, unlimited budget, just whatever you want. There's no cap on this whole thing to make this room look amazing. And they had a design team and all this stuff. And so that's the picture you see online. It's this incredible bait and switch. You walk into your room, and I saw these faces like, are you kidding me? This is the room? I guess this looks a little bit like what I saw in the pictures and everything, but this is it. This is my room. And then you've got to make it your own. And so here's the process. You see this happen real quick and what's going on. I thought, look at this, Dr. Jesus. You go, that's kind of interesting. I don't know what the deal is with that. Anyway, you know, he played football. But, anyway. So, I started thinking about this and the dorm room thing, and I started looking online a little bit at people who with their recommendations for making a dorm room look great. And I said there were two key things that I saw. One is that people just kind of did some scrapbooking stuff. Just kind of there he is, awkward stash. Great. All right. Thanks, Andy and Santos. All right. So they did some scrapbooking stuff. It's kind of the one big thing that a bunch of people did. And the other thing they did is they're showing you what you can do with your dorm room. It was all a set. There were no walls except this one in the background. I'm going, that's so not fair. I mean, they don't just have 8 feet to work with. They got 16 feet, and they're doing all this stuff. And I started thinking about, what if they did dorm room crashers? Okay, HGTV people here, okay? Backyard crashers, kitchen crashers, you seen that stuff? What if they had dorm room crashers? Imagine if you're at Walmart, and you're trying to buy a lamp, and then someone comes up to you and goes, hey, you setting up your dorm room? You know, and you're like, oh, yeah, kind of thing about it. And how would you like to really go big with your dorm room? You know, and people just go, no thanks, it's kind of awkward, you know. But then you're the lucky person, and they go, all right, your dorm room tomorrow, bring 2 friends, that's all it'll fit. Bring 2 friends, all right, and we're going to do something crazy with your room, you know. And imagine, it'd be pretty fun. I don't know what you can do. You're not going to tear down rooms or walls. You can't paint. You know, it's not like you're going to replace the stove. What stove, you know? Throw the bed out the window and get everybody excited. I don't know what you do, but I thought, how cool would that be? And so I was looking for that online. There's no dorm room crashers like that yet, but how cool would that be? Somebody just waiting at Walmart for somebody to show up. It's a serious bait and switch, and I think if you feel it all, I understand. They do amazing things with these rooms, and those of you that are in Wallace Complex at U of I, they've done these remodels on 5 of the floors. There's the pictures, right? They're showing solid countertops, undermount sinks, and everything. There's carpet in them and all that stuff. And then you get there, and the rest of them aren't remodeled, and you have to be like a 10th year undergraduate to get one of those rooms, you know. And that was me. Anyway, it's a challenge getting all this stuff going. WC students, you survived your first week. You made it, and that's awesome. Great job. Great job. You've only got like 120 left to get your degree, you know. And you'll do that if you stay on track and everything. You'll get there and all that, and it's amazing. We've got Idaho students that just kind of are showing up and getting all that going and everything. And I know it is crazy. Tonight, what we want to talk about is holding on. We want to encourage you to hold on and kind of look at what that means and everything. And so that'll be our topic as we get into this. One more video for you to take a look at here that kind of shows a little bit of something about how important it is to hold on. Some of you have probably seen of this clip. We'll just show the first minute or so of it. people would honestly do that? You think that? You honestly would do that? All right, great. How many people, no way, no way, zero, no way, right? Okay, of the no way people, how many people think that at least half the people who said they would do it were lying? Okay, great. That's what I thought. All right, great. That's the Corona Arch in Moab, and it's 110 feet tall, that thing, and it's about an hour and a half hike to get to it off the road, depending on how, in shape you are and all that kind of stuff and everything. The guys who did that spent hours getting ready for that whole thing. That video went viral about a year ago, and for obvious reasons and everything, it's kind of huge and all that. But there's 4 permanent bolts up on the top of that arch. You can rappel off the thing as well and everything, but they do that. And it's really interesting as you look at what they did to prepare for that. They took like big bags of rocks and everything and kind of threw them off there, kind of seeing what would happen, which makes some sense, right? You try to figure out, let's throw some off here that doesn't matter, a rock hits a rock, no big deal, great. And, they were trying to be really careful the whole thing, and they're talking about the risk involved. And they go, there's an obvious risk here. Looking at the wingsuit guys, right? We had one of the most famous ones in the world, the guy that did the James Bond drop-in at the London Olympics, all right? He died this last month in a wingsuit. And they talk about the risk that's involved, and these guys say there's obviously a risk, and we understand what happens if you make a mistake, but we think it's worth it. That's their take on the whole thing. And you're kind of left going, really? I mean, there's like no bailout here. As far as we can tell, there's a real slim margin for error and all this stuff and everything. But these guys did a really great job preparing for the whole thing, dropping rocks and backpacks and swinging all this stuff, making sure it's all going to work and everything. They had 4 ropes. They put like a fire hose around them because they understand the friction on the rock is going to wear the rope some and everything, and they don't want it to lose its strength and all that stuff, making sure that things are right. And that arch is 110 feet tall. From the bottom of the arch down to the ground, 110 feet and 140 feet wide, and so pretty cool. Well, since that whole thing happened, there's been all kinds of people kind of doing the copycat thing, and in fact, there's some people that did it commercially for a little while. This is public land, and so there's no law against doing that. You can just go do that, and put your life in your own hands and do that. But they did decide that they weren't going to allow it to be done commercially. Part of the whole thing is people want to go see this arch and not just see people dangling off it and, risking their lives and everything. It kind of messes up the picture, Here we are, the Corona Arch, and an idiot in the background. Oh, well, And so they won't let people do it commercially and charge people to do it. But you can just go do that if you want and everything. Well, just in March of this year, a bunch of friends went up there and to do that, and the first guy off hit the ground and died. There, again, not a lot of margin for error, all right? And there was this real problem. And you think about what could go wrong with all that. There's a few basic things. Okay, one would be like you're not tied off right, okay? One would be the rope isn't strong enough, and it wasn't either of those. The third thing, as you kind of go through this progression, could be rope's too long. That's what happened. So you got 110-foot elevation, 140-foot width, and as best as anybody can tell, they just got their numbers wrong and had a 140-foot rope on a 110-foot clearance. And so a minor miscalculation, if you're doing the math, all right, especially if you're doing, Nervous Nelly up here in front of everybody, at 110, 140, not a big deal. At the Corona Arch in Moab, a huge deal, a huge problem. And I'm not trying to make fun of what happened there at all. It's a profound illustration of what can happen when you get things just a little bit wrong, when what's at stake is huge. His parents did a press release, and a lot of times in a situation like that, they just want privacy, whatever it is, but they did a press release and said, this tragic, and we don't want any other parent to experience what we're experiencing right now, and just want to encourage everybody to use caution, and it kind of left it at that. But I mean, I can't imagine getting that phone call, and the sheriffs are talking about how crazy it was, and how this is a crazy deal, but that video going viral has made things really interesting and challenging for them, and away they go. So they understood the possible outcome as they got all ready to do this, but they misunderstood somehow the risk really involved. We understand the outcome and the possibilities there to some degree sometimes, but don't really understand the statistics and what's going on with the risk. It would have been smart for them, as they're going up there and trying to duplicate what somebody else has done, to maybe throw some rocks off this thing and kind of make sure before they look at the numbers on the internet and kind of go, hey, here we are. You got to be hanging onto the rope. One of the important things there, but the calculations have got to be right as well. There are things in this life that we hold on to that are maybe less tangible, than that rope on that arch and all the harnesses and everything that are involved. But just as vital when it's all said and done, just as important when it's all said and done, there are things in this life that we hold on to that will control our destiny. Things that can have huge consequences. When I get up to U of I, it was several years ago now, when my first roommate up there, some of my roommates just said, "That's it, we're done," and I had to find another one. Happened a couple times. But anyway, my first roommate up there, friend from high school, we ran together in cross country and all that kind of stuff. There's a bond that comes when you run cross country together that can't come really any other way. And in the Latin, I've heard it said that cross country is a combination of two words, craw and scuntry, which mean to run without purpose. And I think that's really what cross country, I don't know, craw and scuntry, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it makes sense that they run without purpose. But anyway, so we ran without purpose together, and that builds a bond that's really shallow but strong somehow. And so roommates in Galt Hall. And Galt Hall at U of I at the time was this building unto itself, and it was so bad that now it's just a field. It's a play field out in front of the tower. They leveled it, got rid of it. It was crazy. The communal showers were so messed up and everything that all you needed was a sheet of 4x8 plywood and a little bit of caulk, and you could create a 5-foot deep hot tub, 3 stories up, 4 stories up, that weighed thousands of pounds, that put in danger the lives of everybody beneath you. All right, and that's the kind of stuff that we did in Galt Hall. And because you got engineers involved in all this stuff and everything, and they understand risk and everything, and risk only really scares them when it's their own risk, not necessarily the risk of the little people below them, and that's what happened in Galt all the time. But anyway, so we're there in Galt Hall, and U of I has several mysteries and kind of some urban legends and everything. Some have to do with whether Wallace Complex was originally designed to be a prison and everything like that. And if you've been there, you understand that. But one of the other things is the heat tunnels. And what's the deal with the heat tunnels at U of I? The heat tunnels are awesome. They heat the sidewalks. And during the winter, you haven't experienced a winter here, you'll come to appreciate it's back and forth and freezes and thaws. And it ends up being really slick. Well, the heat tunnels keep the sidewalks clear at U of I in a really kind of pretty neat way. But they're also tunnels. All right? And again, guys, especially maybe being guys and everything, and this is before we knew that we could go to Moab and swing off an arch and everything. These heat tunnels are this great mystery and everything, and they used to pull your student ID, and which had huge consequences if you went in the heat tunnels. Now they'll just kick you right out of school. Kind of got a little more drastic because more and more people were going in the heat tunnels. Well, so I grew up in a good Christian home, and I would never do that sort of thing. I was the kind of person that understood risk, and so I wouldn't really put myself in that situation, but I would maybe encourage other people, and sort of take risks vicariously through others. It was kind of neat. But anyway, I repented. That's good enough. So, so my roommate that ran across country, was kind of an adventurous person. And we got up to school and everything, and he really got steeped in the party scene pretty quickly and everything. He was a little bit. I want to be careful because he's a good guy and all that stuff. And you know, we were all young and stupid at one point, and some of us still are, and I understand that too. Some of us are older and stupid, but anyway, there we are. Well, he just really wanted to fit in and belong. And when you get up to college, it's an opportunity to kind of start over, all right? If you were awesome and cool in high school, you kind of have to start that over when you get to college, because not anybody necessarily, maybe one or two people who ended up at school with you, know that, and so you've got to be awesome and cool now, all over again. If you were an idiot, you get a chance to start over, right? If you're a total dork, and here you go. You're like, I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to get my hair cut. I'm going to get glasses with fake lenses. I'm going to do something to make myself cool. My teeth are fine, but I want braces. I'm going to do something to be cool somehow in this whole thing. And you start getting going. Well, and we all want to fit in. We all want to matter. We all want, and so you get this kind of fresh start. And so my roommate, I'll call him John for lack of a better name, decided he was going to do this. He was going to fit in everything. So early on in our tenure and all this stuff, he got involved. Well, one Saturday morning, I woke up, and our room was right above the party room in Galt, and so there was always loud noises, things crazy, music and dancing and all this stuff and everything, and I wasn't really part of that scene, and so I would try to go to sleep before it all started. And it started, so I would seriously try to be out by 8:30 at night on a Friday night. I was such a dork that I could be asleep on Friday night at 8:30 and sleep through the party happening one floor below me. With everything going on and all that kind of stuff. I've never heard of anybody else being that. I mean, most people have to do drugs to sleep through that, you know. And I was so weird that I could do that without the influence of anything. I just slept through. Anyway, I wake up on a Saturday morning and our room stinks. Our room stinks. I go, what on earth is that? All right, there's a dumpster a few floors down. We would like try to throw our trash in the dumpster. Another thing you get kicked out of school for. Down there in the, and people try to avoid it. Except the trash guy would come like at 7 a.m. You know, and it was in this little cubicle down there below us and wake everybody up. You know, then everybody would throw their trash. You know, it's like that poor guy. But anyway, so I thought maybe the trash stunk, and it wasn't it. It was in our room, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's John's clothes. You know, what on earth happened? So I just went to, he was totally out. I went to breakfast, came back, and somewhere around 11 or 12 or 1 or something, he woke up, and I said, John, what happened? He goes, oh, dude, it was so crazy. It was so crazy, you know. Heat tunnels. I'm going, okay, great. That's really all I probably need to know, but keep going with the story. Heat tunnels. All right, I've got, like, you know, 2 beers under my belt. Seriously, I'm so gone. You know, I mean, like I said, we were kind of idiots, and that was all it took and it would take me, like, less. Anyway, so 8:30 at night, I was gone, you know. Anyway, so he goes, we're like, heat tunnels, do it, yeah. And so away we go, and we go find heat tunnel, and so, but you know, we're all scared and everything, and so he goes, I knew this is my time, my opportunity to really lead in something, you know. And so I said, I'll go, and they're like, yeah, John, you know. And so I lift the lid, and down he goes, and he goes, I got to the bottom, and all of a sudden I was like, what? Wait. Everybody back out! He goes, it was the sewer. Wrong tunnel. The poor guy, you know, I thought he's going to be scarred for life. He's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fit in. Now he's like, I'm not just going to fit in. I'm going to go do whatever he's saying. I'm not only going to take the risk, I'm going to lead. I'm going first. Woo! You know, this is opportunity. Everybody out! He was sober instantaneously, you know, as he's walking in the sewer and come back out. I'm like, why didn't you just throw those clothes away? You know, and but there they were, and what a wonderful memory. Something we need to understand in all this. The point of that video, the point of that is that we're going to follow people along the way in all this stuff. People are going to influence us. We're going to influence other people. There's some norms. There's the way that it's supposed to be, and we're going to be influenced by people and all this stuff. And who we're following and what it is that we're hanging on to and all that stuff. We're talking about holding on, and I want to encourage you to hold on. It's a big deal. You know, you're going to hold on to something. And if you don't believe that, put like a 3-year-old up on a bar, and I'm holding on to the bar, and they're like, you know, they're having fun with it and everything, and they will not let go until their strength fails, and it'll last probably a long time, until they know that you're holding on to them strongly enough that they can let go. And it doesn't matter if they're 2 inches off the ground; they're going to be totally fine. But if they can't see that, they don't know. They're going to hold on. And all of us are the same way. We must hold on to something. We will hold on to something. God's given us a grip. We've got this thing with this opposing thumb. We're going to grab a hold of something. And we have the same thing in our hearts. God built something into our souls that says, I will hold on to something. I've got to grab a hold of something. It's the way that I'm built. And what you're holding on to will determine your destiny ultimately. It will determine your destiny ultimately. And even if you're not the person that goes first, you just watch it all kind of go down. It will change your life forever. The other guys on that arch, watching him hit, had their lives changed forever. All of a sudden, what was supposed to be a thrill radically changed as something was completely over. We will hold on to something that will influence us and will be changed. Understand that. What we cling to will control us. What are we holding on to in this life? Some of us, because it's controlling us, some of us, we're honest, there's some bitterness There's some unforgiveness. There's reputation. I'm going to be smart. I'm going to be a smart person. I'm holding on to that. I got to keep that whole thing shored up. I got to study more than everybody else. This is my reputation. Not just to be a good steward of all this stuff and get the grades that I should. That's a great thing. But I've got a reputation to uphold, and so I'm going to do that. I'm the cute person, and so you're consumed with kind of keeping the cute thing going. Or I'm the best dressed person, and so this costs a ton of money, but I got to keep this whole thing going. I'm the fun person, and so I got to make that happen. And so here I am, and I got to be stepping out doing the fun thing, and over and over again, I'm in the front. And I'm a part of the scene, and I'm not just part of the scene. I'm helping make the scene happen, and we're trapped, and we don't even know it by this thing that we're holding on to. There's a phenomenal illustration that comes from history. It's a true thing. This little coconut on this chain was designed a couple hundred years ago, and this is a monkey trap. All right, this little coconut, this little hole in it, and a chain. And what they do is they'd haul these things out, put a bull, and they'd chain it or tie it to a tree, and just to catch a monkey. You go, how on earth did they catch a monkey? Well, what they would do is this. They take a couple marbles, and just put them in there. All right? There's probably somebody here small enough to make this illustration work, but it's always embarrassing to be the smallest person, so we're not going to do it, all right? But the monkey would put its hand in this trap, make a fist to hold on to the marbles or whatever, and its fist then was big enough to keep it trapped, and it would not let go. And so this animal trapper, would come up and just, here's this monkey stuck, and it's trying to run away, from this person, going, oh gosh, I'm in trouble. It understands all that and everything, but it won't let go, knowing its doom is sure. Its doom is sure, and it won't let go, and so it's stuck. They're throwing it over the monkey, and they've got another monkey to trade, and away to go on a ship and take it to a zoo, whatever, all that, because it wouldn't let go. What we hold on to will control us, good or bad. Good or bad. And some of us will hold on to things that are bad just because we know we must hold on. And what I want to challenge you this year, part of what we want to challenge you in this year, is to make choices to hang on to the kind of things, the kind of people, the kind of God is going to take you the right direction in all this. Because what you hold on to will determine your destiny. And some of us end up trapped, done, enslaved, because we don't even know how to let go. So we're surrounded by all these opportunities, all these relationships, all this stuff and everything. The question ends up being, how do you know what to hold on to? And this is just sort of a kind of a setup for what's coming and everything. It's the point of what we're doing tonight as we're moving forward and everything. So we're about done. I'm going to have the band come up. I want to kind of give you these two ideas that we're going to walk away with tonight, hopefully, before we enter our time of worship and music. How do you know? Is there some standard by which to judge all this and everything? And the answer is yes. If you're going to go to a dentist, you sure want to make sure that that doctor, if you're going to go to a brain surgeon, you want to make sure that doctor has been held to some standard in his training. I got LASIK surgery, all right, back a while ago, and my eyes are important to me, and you bet I did a ton of research, all right? Some of us will spend tons and tons of time online looking at reviews to replace our cell phone battery, all right? Okay, and make sure what other people's experience was in this whole thing. Hours and hours and hours. But we'll jump into something in life that will control us, unaware in so many ways, because we don't understand that there's a standard by which to judge those things. And here's what I want to encourage you. The first is this. It's the Bible. Now, as soon as I say that, somebody will go, yeah, I know, of course. You're going to bring up the Bible thing. That's what you're supposed to do and everything. And you got Bible thumpers, people throwing verses at people and hitting people over the head and locking people up. Speaking of traps, you got one verse and wham, now somebody's in bondage to that thing and all that stuff and everything. Can I ask you to encourage? Can I encourage you to entertain the idea, maybe for the first time, that this book isn't antiquated, that it's alive, that it's timeless, that it's trustworthy, that you can bet your life on this thing? A lot of us have been in airplanes really having very little clue as to the reality of the physics involved. We sure go, yeah, we got a lower pressure there, higher pressure. Okay, great. Okay, great. Seriously, all right. How much weight is that wing really carry? What's the shear strength of that thing? When does the panel come off? All right. What's going on? We don't know. We don't know. We can trust our lives to it because, hey, it's worked pretty well so far. Can I tell you that for 6,000 years, this has never failed? People around you tell you, well, it's got some contradictions in it. Really? Like? We're so programmed in our responses to stuff. And can I encourage that God defies program? And He knows what He's doing. And when He wrote this, He did it so that it would be absolutely radically relevant as long as there are people walking the face of this planet. He's never had an aha moment. Oh, wish I thought of that. He's never had to do a revision. Nothing's ever been discovered. Like, oh no, the world is flat. Other way around. We knew this was round. This earth was round 700 years before physicists, geographers figured it out in boats. Because the Bible said so. The Bible tells me so. Sometimes I wish that we had the guts to just answer that way in class. Oh, really? Young man, the Bible, huh? Why? Well, I think VeggieTales said it the best. If you give me the liberty of quoting Junior Asparagus for just a moment. Psalm 119, 105, and there's so many different translations, and I love this, just keeping it simple here in the New Living. Your word is a lamp to guide my feet. Your word is a lamp to guide my feet and a light for my path. The second, how do we know what to judge all this by? The second thing, we'll be looking at this a lot this year, is Jesus. Jesus, when He called people to Himself, He said this over and over again in the Gospels, the books we call the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The first
So we're going to dig into that. To say, Lord, I don't know what else to do in all this except to say, you made me. Your name is on my hood, so to speak. All right? My hood says Maserati. Maybe I'll talk to Mr. Maserati about how this is all supposed to work. My hood says Lamborghini. Mr. Lamborghini, what on earth were you thinking? And He knows. Please don't say that I called Mr. Lamborghini God. Please, that's what the point of all this. Your Creator and Maker knows. He knows. He's given us a user's manual. He's given us the life of His Son to follow. And our lives will be radically transformed and forever changed. Matter. And not be shipwrecked someplace on the rocks of life because of a miscalculation, or drenched in sewage because we're trying to fit in and do the right thing. When God knows there's a freedom that comes in that place. That's where we're going to go in the year ahead. We're going to go in a 3-part series in our time ahead as we move into some other stuff. We're going to talk about our kind of our motto. We believe in Jesus. We believe in you. We believe in the church. The two of those put together and a bunch of people. What was God thinking as He put all this together? And He knows. And He knows. This will be a ton of fun. Let's enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Not risk-free, not safe. I'll tell you what, Christianity is an adventure. It is terrifying and awesome all at the same time. And that's what He has. Let's pray. Jesus, we thank You. You haven't just set us adrift to try to find our way, but You've given us a lamp to guide our feet, a light to direct our path. And we ask that You show us what it means to really be followers of Jesus. to look at your life as it's recorded here in what we call Scripture, your book. You give us insight into how to live the life that you've called us to live, the abundant life that you died to give us. God, I ask you to blow us all away, all in one